What do you want me to say about the moment that we're in, kind of on the other side, maybe of a pandemic? Maybe. My favorite word of 2020 and 2021 and 2022 is maybe. Now I got that maybe faith, that it may be this or it may be that. And the problem is, as a leader, people want answers, and we don't have any right now.
You know better, but you're deciding to not do better. You are a lazy, unprofessional, mean attitude having, and yet when things are not happening good for you, when things are not coming your way, when things are not happening as fast as you want them to happen, you blame everybody else.
A mind becomes renewed when it becomes released. Many of us, our mind is held hostage by the enemy, and many of us, we find ourselves being attacked all day long. But if we're going to renew our mind, the result is that our mind becomes released.
You know, to be honest, I get a little bit tired of people throwing the God told me word around. Like that's the magic charm that puts enough pressure on somebody to get them to do something. You're going to find out a little bit later that that's actually spiritual manipulation. And we really shouldn't be doing that.
If you hit a pothole, something unexpected happens. Your loved one has an illness. Your child forgot his homework. The loan didn't go through. You could be upset, worried, but you have your spare tire. You decided ahead of time to stay in peace.
I got something for those of you that can hear me. Those of you that you're not my people, you're not my peeps, keep moving. Go do something else. Don't listen to me. I know I'm not talking to everybody because I've got a message that's for certain kinds of people who have a positive mindset.
You, Lord, give perfect peace. You want perfect peace? Listen. You, Lord, give perfect peace to those who keep their purpose firm and put their trust in you.
Maybe you just hate small talk, right? Maybe you hate being fake. That's me. And that's not a feeling of dread. The avoidance that you're feeling, this resistance to going, is due to dislike. Not dread, dislike. Big difference.
It's very, very difficult to solve a problem. And even if you did, it's also unlikely that your intervention would produce only the positive result that you intend and nothing else. And then ideology, I suppose it's the enticement to pride that ideology also produces.
You know, when everybody sits around the lunch table and complains about their jobs and their boss and their pay and the conditions, you can sit there and represent God without preaching one sermon by just sitting there, not joining in and saying, well, you know, things may not be perfect here, but I'm glad I got a job. There's a lot of people who don't even have a job.
When you have a gift, it's what you do. You talk, that could be your gift. You write, that's your gift. You're a great listener, problem solver. You got the gift of matching up, that's all a gift. Here's what messes people up though. You see something that somebody else does, and then you want to go do that. So now you're not concerned with your gift. Now you want to pursue a passion.
Faith is not a feeling. You know, you can be a pessimistic person, but still have great faith. Even great faith has weak moments. So the call to faith is first a call to come out of denial. Otherwise, you'll be waiting on God to deliver you from a situation that is going to require discipline.
But the great news is, because I've done this for so long and I've done this with so many over such a long period of time in every country of the world, what I know is you can learn to lead. You can learn to lead. You can. You can learn to be a better leader than you are right now. You can grow as a leader. If I'm a 5 as a leader, that means my organization will be what? Talk to me. Because the leadership lid won't allow it to go higher.
Yes, it was unfair, but I know God is my vindicator. I know God is fighting my battles. God promised to pay me back double for the unfair things that have happened. You keep that up and you'll see God make up for the wrongs. What you're facing may not be fair. People may not be treating you right. It's a test. God wants to see, what are you going to do in the difficult times?
There isn't a place you're going to buy me. You can't get me. There's not a stop, a place, a destination where you're going to get me to relent, to quit. I want to improve. That doesn't mean I don't struggle with my motivation from time to time. Doesn't mean I don't get confused or down. Of course I do, but I'm not for sale. You can't buy me. And you know this too. We see friends of ours, even guys in their 60s, and they sold their company for blah, 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 and now they golf 9 days a week or whatever, you know? That's fine, but they're for sale. They were bought. You were bought. You were for sale. I'm not for sale.
A lot of people have that. They're scared. They're scared of complications. They're scared of failure. Failure is a big one that people are afraid of, but failure is one of the most important things you could ever have as far as like the motivation to do things differently. One of the reasons why I think that I'm good at friendships and relationships is because I've failed at them in the past. One of the things that I'm good at comedy is because I've bombed on stage. One of the reasons why I'm good at work is because I've been a shitty worker.
I want to tell you something else. and I want to make this clear. Don't just listen. Don't just listen. Do. I'm not just talking. So you know, I'm not just talking. I'm doing. And I don't want you to just listen. Put this information to work.
I have seen this thousands of times in people's lives. You don't minimize it. You don't rush to feel better. To get past your failure, you've got to go through the failure. Examine your own conduct. And what you do is you look and you say, what was I good at each stage in my life? And what did I enjoy doing at each stage in my life? Here are the two things. I'm good at it and I enjoy doing it.
As is the case in life, you're always going to be growing. And when you hit new chapters in your life, it's really important to be deliberate and mindful about the people that you spend time with and who you surround yourself with. Does that mean you got to ditch your high school friends? Absolutely not. But it might mean that you shouldn't spend as much time with them.
Pessimism, the deadly disease of always looking on the bad side, the problem side, the difficult side, checking all the reasons why it can't be done. The poor pessimist leads an ugly life. He doesn't try to figure out what's right. He tries to figure out what's wrong. He doesn't look for virtue. He looks for faults. And when he finds them, he's delighted. How ugly.
We got to practice and get to continue to practice the most important skill on the planet, which is emotional resilience, the ability to face hard and actually be okay, the ability to face the uncertain and redirect your attention on things that you know that are certain.
A man takes a shotgun to his car, blows out every window, destroys every tire, puts 100 rounds in it, and says, I've driven this embarrassing thing for the last time. And then he saves it. He saves it. And later when somebody says, how did you become rich and powerful? He says, let me show you this car. One day I'd had it up to here, I blew it to smithereens.